Cool. Alright. It's got the right name. It's got the right thumbnail. It's public. Monetization is on. Seems like we're
I almost
good.
forgot.
Yeah.
1 second.
Well, you've got 1 minute. Hello?
There we go. Now I am ready.
Perfect. Okay. 15 whole concurrent viewers. I feel like people like Bochi or something.
Go figure. Oh, I see that.
Hello, Ren. All right. Hello, YouTube! Are you ready to rock?
Oh, I am so ready. I don't have
Right.
up.
Seems like the YouTube stream fucked up. Amazing.
Oh, there we go. Now it's back.
Hello.
Yeah.
Now it's just a quality of 144p.
That's fine. Nobody cares. Alright, hello YouTube people. How are you doing? How's everyone's day going? We're here to talk about Bochi the Rock. At your insistence.
Yes. If there's anything I can say to start, it's that I was very surprised that Bloom Into You. No, that Oshinoko got the same number of votes as Bloom Into You.
Yeah,
and
really.
Wasn't even close.
I'm surprised that Bloom and You got as many votes as Oshinoko.
That as well.
Right. Yeah, I expected Bochi to win. I expected Bloom Into You to get more votes than it did, and I expected Oshinoko to get more votes than it did.
So you didn't expect it to win that hard?
I guess not. Let me check the numbers again.
Anime fail girls reign supreme.
Okay, let's go to my channel. My channel. Come on. To the community tab. And check the poll. Yeah, I guess I expected it to be closer. I did think that Bochi cracked 50%, so I was wrong about that. Anyway, yeah, I expected Bochi to win, and it did. Congratulations, Scrub, you're back.
The streak is back! I mean, I wasn't the one who really suggested Bochi, it was the fans.
It's true. Anyway,
The
speaking of the
populace.
fans, how is everyone doing? Are you ready to rock? I'm a little worried that we're not going to have much to say about this show. I know that you two were talking about it a lot more than I was in the chat. I have a bit of an echo. Why could that be?
I mean, I guess we talked about it a bit in the last couple of days, but I didn't write any comments. I watched this show back in September last year, so I didn't bother rewatching it now.
I see. Okay. Is anybody else hearing me with a bit of an echo?
Well, I hear you with a bit of a deep voice, so...
Right, but that's not an echo. Okay. Yeah, I gave this one episode when it was airing, and I just wasn't particularly impressed with it. I'm glad I went back and watched it a bit more. Downboard, that was my problem with it. I thought that I thought that Bochi was a bit too passive for a protagonist, didn't really do much. I felt like I already got this show from Watamote, was the thing. But it did have a really cute girls doing cute things vibe going on after it got itself established. I'm glad I watched it.
This really is Watamote, cute girls doing cute things edition, huh?
Not exactly.
It's not exactly, yeah. Watamote is a lot more, I guess you could... I hate using this term, but it fits so well. Like, Watamote is a lot more cringier.
Am I echoing now? Can you even hear me in the chat? I know that you can hear me on the
I
Discord
don't
call.
think I hear any echo whatsoever.
I don't hear an echo.
So there are 2 audio feeds going into OBS. I'm fine now, but quiet. Okay. How about now? Can you hear me now?
I don't hear any difference.
Yeah,
There's
I know
no-
you don't. This is only for people in the YouTube chat. Can the
Oh,
YouTube
okay.
chat
Never
hear me
mind.
now? Why, he's fine again. Return of the echo. I am now doubled. That's interesting. Okay. So my mic is being picked up twice for some reason.
Well, we got rid of the echo the first time, so...
Yeah, but that's because I was using my webcam mic, which is no good.
Uh-oh.
Anyway, long as it's okay, that's fine. Okay. So, since we're talking about this show right after we did Watamote, we have to compare it to Watamote. And I think the lack of emphasis on comedy in Bochi, or the different emphasis on comedy, is part of what makes it really charming, and certainly what makes it different from Watamote. The series sort of goes out of its way to make you feel like Bochi can get better, when Watamote does not do that.
1000%. Like, it never goes the route of, oh, your anxiety can be cured, it's fine. It's more just like Bochi learns on how to deal with it.
Yeah, we aren't
in a
going
very
with
light and charming way.
the Komi can't communicate route here.
Yeah.
Which is really... I only watched 1 episode, so don't dogpile on me, but I found that show pretty disgusting.
It's... It's... I mean, I can't comment either, actually. I haven't really watched much of Komi Can't Communicate. I just heard that the trans character in the beginning gets more and more shafted as the series goes on, and I lost interest.
I didn't even know there was a trans character in the beginning.
I mean, there's a character you might interpret that way. I think it's intentionally ambiguous with the best friend character.
Sure.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I've seen all of Komi Can't Communicate what's been adapted, and I'd agree, because that's pretty much just a slice of life show with a gimmick.
You'd
But
agree that
I feel like in Bochi...
that it's pretty bad?
I feel like in Bochi it's actually... What?
That Komi's not great?
I mean, I would just say it's a mediocre slice of life show. It's nothing special. I don't think it's bad.
No, well, I haven't seen enough of Komi to comment. But Bochi, from what I can tell, is just this very realistic and caring portrayal of somebody who has a problem. And the way that she deals with it and slowly gets better, it was really charming. I liked it.
It really is. Like, cards on the table out here, I have real bad, what most would call severe social anxiety, so a lot of this hits home to me.
And I do not have severe social anxiety, so a lot of this was not relatable to me. But it was still really good. It definitely got its point across.
I think my favorite part is just like, yeah, and the animation bits where they go off doing something live action or through some other medium, those are amazing and surprisingly pretty apt on what it's like to basically have like a panic attack or just any sort of just like crazy like just anxiety induced thought process of just, that's how it feels. It just feels like you're just
suddenly live action.
Yeah.
I found it really interesting how a couple of times, I think twice that I noticed, they used the cubist art style to show that Bochi had a very strong and sudden reaction to something. Like, to represent her freezing up.
This show is just like Watamote.
Yeah,
I
it's interesting to me that both shows took that same route, and I'm wondering if Bochi got it from Watamote, or if they both just looked at cubist art and they're like, that's what that feels like.
I would say it's quite possible. There's not that many shows that fit this kind of niche of being focused on a socially anxious character.
It's true. Like, I cannot imagine that the people who made Bochi are not familiar with Watamote. Like, when did the anime for Watamote come out? 2006?
2013.
2013? Really?
Yeah, that's how old Watamote is. The manga is from 2011, so it definitely couldn't have been before that.
It's not as old as I thought it was. But still. The mixed media and the collaging through the art direction, as Stars calls it, a very fun choice that I think a lot of anime can do really well. As much as I hate to bring this show up, it reminds me of the OP of Wonder Egg Priority. Which, for all of that show's flaws, it has a beautiful OP.
No, yeah, I was gonna say, if you're gonna compare anything, then, like, the OP is probably the most favorable comparison you could give something.
Mm-hmm. I would love to talk about Wonder Egg Priority on this stream. I might suggest it again.
I might suggest it.
Alright. Yeah, we're getting into what I was really worried about when it comes to talking about Bochi, which is that there's not going to be enough to talk about. Because we can sit here and say the show has a great portrayal of anxiety for 13 whole episodes, but how much time does that actually take? Like, when it comes to what actually happens in the show, it's cute girls doing cute things. And it did it good. It did the cute girls doing cute things thing good. And that's great to watch, but just to sit here and talk about it, I feel like we're going to be repeating ourselves a lot.
Well, we can do what we normally do and go by episode, and if we just end up running like an early ending, then that's fine. We can just finish up early, and then maybe, I don't know, we watch the Dungeon Meshi.
I did watch the first episode of Dungeon Meshi. It was very charming. Okay.
Hello, Chad. I am hyper fixated on Dungeon Meshi. Can you tell?
I think we also can't tell what your favorite Bochi character is. Could you have made it like a bit more clear through, I don't know, maybe changing your profile?
I am an enigma wrapped in a burrito, wrapped in another enigma.
Don't worry. 90% of everything she says is just for vibes. Alright. Wikipedia, Bochi the Rock. Is Rio autistic, Bochi?
Yes!
I thought she just doesn't
you
care.
can really, it's really just a scale of, like, no, not a scale, there's just 4 quadrants in this show, and it's, does this character have anxiety, and then is this character an introvert?
What, you would say the other person who has anxiety is Ikuyo?
Yeah.
Kita, absolutely.
Sure.
She's an extroverted person with anxiety.
Okay, so then Nijika is like the absolute normie.
Yeah, Nijika's a fucking neurotip.
Oh, absolutely. I feel bad for her just because
she can never understand normal people.
Nijika's like who watches Bochi the Rock and is like, oh, my favorite character is Nijika. Like, get the fuck out of here.
Don't be mean. She has a perfectly fulfilling life. And nothing about her neurochemistry is telling her that that's not true.
That's fair.
Alright, let's start with the OP, because this OP is rockin'. And I feel that's pretty typical for music shows.
This OP is Bochin.
It's Bochin. One thing I like about the music, and I know this is directly related to the OP, but every time there is a musical performance, I feel like they use a different track. Am I wrong? Did one of you notice them play the same track again?
I didn't notice.
This is something that I specifically listen for, which makes it very immersion breaking for me, and I should stop doing it.
This is gonna bug me. I'm gonna have to go rewatch it now. I'm gonna have to go rewatch the entire show.
Okay. But every time they played a song, it was a different recording of that song. And it's especially noticeable in the audition scene, which I mentioned this in the Discord. Yeah, Izzy Saltz brings it up. Which is that in the audition scene, when they're really nervous, the drumming is off. I think it's the audition scene. The drumming is off, and you can hear Kita's voice break a little bit. And that was really cool. Shows don't typically do stuff like that. But when they do, it is on a scene like that. What was really impressive to me is that they use different takes for other scenes where they get the song exactly right. I think. I could be wrong here, and just not paying as much attention as I should be. Did anyone else catch that?
I never noticed anything like that. They're probably because I don't have an ear for music.
Dang, I can't believe I'm a complete and utter failure for missing that in Bochi the Rock.
Hey, you're not a complete and utter failure, okay? You are here. You're making steps. Even though they're tiny steps that feel like 1,000 steps to you, you're doing great. You don't have to cry. You can rejoin the convo.
Okay.
All right. There was that, and there was something else I wanted to bring up. Oh, when it comes to, I guess we should probably talk about this when we go episode by episode, but the CGI compositing in this show is beautiful.
Oh, it's some of the best I've ever seen. It's like insane how good it is sometimes. Like, yeah, you mentioned this before, but it's really hard to actually, like, I can tell that there's some compositing going on, but like
no, like in those concert scenes you can say like, all right, there's some 3D animation being used here. This was done on a computer. But the lighting and how well it fits in with the 2D stuff, like, is that 2D? Is it 3D? I can't tell. Incredibly impressive.
Chainsaw Man wishes it was Bochi the Rock.
Chainsaw Man is perfectly happy with its aesthetic.
No, Chainsaw Man.
No, it wants to be Bochi.
It wants to be Bochi.
So smooth. Yeah, that's all I had to say about the music. No, it's not, actually. I
lied.
Forgot, while I was listening to these songs and reading all the lyrics, it hit me that Bochi is the lyricist. Like, I mean, I know that they explicitly say that. It's just something that I kind of glanced over. But whenever there is a show with a band like this, like, I always go back to Girls Dead Monster in Angel Beats. I just ignore the lyrics every time. Like, I read them and they go in one ear out the other. It doesn't matter. But the amount of heart that Bochi puts into these lyrics and to hear Kita sing them is very good dissonance.
I think it's on a different level other than that. Like, there's an initial dissonance, and then it like and then it sounds genuine afterwards.
But like, it's interesting from the perspective of putting the whole show together, right? Because the way that Bochi is sort of learning to come out of her shell a little bit is by interacting with these people who have much more balanced mental health than she does. So literally putting her words into Kita's mouth and having her like smile and dance and clap along with the audience while she is saying what Bochi wants to say is a way for her to literally express herself in a way that she can't with her own mouth. Which is very good symbolically and also makes for a great scene to watch.
And wait, I have to admit, I'm not sure I totally see your point because okay, there's a clear dissonance with the fact that what's her name? That Ikuyo is singing these lyrics that are about Bochi's mental states. But what does that represent? The fact that there is a dissonance.
The dissonance is just that Kita is smiling and clapping while she sings these very depressing songs. That's it.
Mm-hmm. But does that represent anything? Like, do you think it's making any kind of deeper point?
Probably nothing other than just that it... How do I want to say this?
The saddest people smile the hardest.
See, Scrub is gonna argue that. I didn't really get that impression.
I've come around to not believing it as the episodes go on, but we'll talk about it in the early episodes when we get a more Kita focus.
Sure. But basically it's just sing sad thing in happy song. Make brain go good. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't think that particular dissonance has anything like... That didn't strike me as something symbolically important. Any more so than the fact that it's Bochi's words coming out of Kita's mouth. That's the important part.
Mm-hmm.
So we talked about the OP. I listened to the ED one time.
You're a better man than I.
Whoa.
You're also a man than I.
I said trans rights. Hold on about the OP, Star said.
You didn't listen to the ED even once?
I listened, yeah.
I did not listen to the ED at all.
Why?
At end of episode, I moved on to the next one. I am an awful person. I should be crucified for my anime sins.
Scrub was just so excited to get on to the next episode.
I was!
I can't believe it.
Bochi's guitar at the end stands alone while everyone else is playing, and vice versa, and I thought that was so fucking cool.
That happens in the OP too, with
Yeah, Stars is talking about the OP.
Ah, okay.
I didn't catch what you're talking about, but it sounds cool. Should we get on?
Oh, well, it's just another thing to signify Bochi's loneliness is just she shows up on stage by herself, and then the second time we see the stage, it has everyone but her.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't catch it. I was too busy babbling along to the Japanese that I don't understand. And shaking my head like this.
It's pretty boppin'.
Yeah. Alright, shall we get to the episode descriptions?
Sure thing.
Hitori Goto is an extremely introverted girl who has trouble making friends or working in groups at school. When she sees a rock band being interviewed on TV, she decides to start playing guitar, thinking it will make her more friends. Unfortunately, her social anxiety keeps her from making friends throughout middle school, but she tries to find model success by playing covers of popular songs and posing on the online alias Guitar Hero. After struggling to be sociable during her first year of high school, a girl named Nijika Ijiji begs her to replace a guitarist who left the group before the band played their show. Hitori follows Nijika to an underground bar and meets her other bandmate, Ryo Yamada, who plays the bass. Despite playing poorly at the live show, Hitori is glad the others gave her the nickname Bochi and that they are fans of her Guitar Hero channel, though they are unaware that Hitori is Guitar Hero. However, Hitori races home shortly after the show, feeling exhausted from the various social interactions of the day. First episode did not grab me.
First episode's good.
It's good.
It sure is the premise.
Mm-hmm. I remember when I watched this the first time as Bochi was airing, my impression was that I was going to get very annoyed with her very quickly, and that I got the point. And I did get the point, to be fair. It is a show about socially anxious girl getting less socially anxious because she has friends now. through music. But I think the rest was worth watching anyway. I was wrong. I was probably in a bad mood when I watched it.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a very complex show, I guess.
No, but that's not a problem. Not every show has to be Evangelion.
Or Watamote, for that matter.
I don't know
When
if
I
I'd
first-
call Watamote complex. I mean, it's got a lot to it, but the stuff that it's trying to do goes very deep. It's trying to do like 3 things. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Whereas
When I
I feel like
first-
Bochi's
Oh,
trying
okay,
to do
sorry.
like 1 thing.
Yeah. Can you guys remind me? Do they ever find out later in the series that Bochi is Guitar Hero?
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't remember that detail. I think.
Nichika knew the whole time, I think.
Well, she learned
Very early on.
Yeah. So I really like the first episode. I mean, when this was first coming out, I watched up to a little while before I went on my usual kick of I don't watch anime anymore halfway
Mhm.
through the season.
Right.
And I absolutely adore how real it is. I'm in this photo and I hate it. Of just putting, I think they use the exact terms of just putting the onus on other people to start a conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Because how do you start a conversation?
Yeah.
Like actually asking for a friend?
I personally make YouTube videos that people find controversial and want to comment on, and then I don't engage them. Because I realized I never wanted to talk in the first place.
But I guess oddly enough, she is rewarded in the first episode for this because, Nijika comes up to ask about the guitar she's just wearing and hoping that somebody will talk to her about.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same
probably
time,
a bad move on the series' part. But I guess Bochi would never have gotten anywhere if she were expected to start conversations on her own.
no, yeah, like sometimes genuinely you just need a slight push from somebody else, and that kickstarts the engine.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's what happens in the show.
Mm-hmm. No, it's not a problem.
It's just a bit of a shaky start.
Yeah, I've definitely been in that situation where I've been waiting for people to start conversations with me, like particularly at game stores and stuff back when I used to play Magic. Just sitting around with my Magic cards out doing shit like, hey, anybody want to play Commander or something? I'm sitting here, got a deck, it's right here, somebody talk to me.
I need to play Commander before the
I
format gets
I would
bad.
like to play Commander with someone. Oh, those people are starting up a Commander game. Hey, could I get in on? You got room for what? Okay.
No, it's fine. I'll wait for the next Commander game in
fine.
2 hours.
No, I've only seen you people like 4 or 5 times here. It's okay. But
yeah, that's how it used to be for me.
Mm-hmm. No, there's like we've already talked about it a little bit, but that's the one thing that this show does extraordinarily well is being real. The thing that I think it is least realistic about it is how hard the band rocks.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I
like
mentioned this
hearing
in Discord, but yeah, it stretches suspension of disbelief how good this band is.
when they start singing the lyrics, my brain immediately goes, "That's not your voice. What are you doing?"
The voice is the part I didn't have any problem with. But you're right, that is not the same voice. I didn't think about it.
Like, of course I get why they do this whenever an animated character starts singing. Of course you can just swap out to an actual singer, but man, it really jars me every single time.
Doesn't jar me every time. Usually doesn't jar me, actually. But, like, the alternative is that either every voice actor has to be a trained singer as well, or every character that sings is played by the same voice actor.
There really is no winning here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I feel like there's a fair amount of people in the anime industry that are like voice actors and singers.
Mm-hmm.
It probably
No,
should be
I'm
doable.
sure they
Is
I'm
it?
sure they could find it, but guys, Monica Ryle doesn't know how to sing. How could we cast her in everything?
Yep. Also, I agree with Stars.
Yep.
I can believe
Was gonna bring
Bochi.
that up.
I believe Bochi's skill. I can also believe Nijika's skill.
Yeah,
Just because of her
from a musical
just because of her
background.
story, but
Mhm.
Rio and Kita is, I mean, especially Kita.
There
You
is
don't
no
get
English dub salts. Sure, let's look it up. Let's see if the voice actors are the same as the singers. Bochi the Rock cast.
Unfortunately, I didn't get a dub in the in Crunchyroll.
Yeah,
It's on Crunchyroll, right?
sure.
Yeah.
There is no dub, not yet. Staff opening theme.
That's kind of strange.
Ikumi Hasagawa is the seiyuu. Bochi the Rock singer. That's not what I want. Kesoku Band
We're trying-
album from the Bochi the Rock wiki. Credits. Vocals, Ikumi Hasagawa. So Noah is the same person. So then why does she have two different voices?
Maybe it just sounds like that to you.
No. No, she has two voices.
No, it's definitely two different people. Or
It's two people. We know better than Wikipedia.
we know better than Wikipedia.
We know better than the person. We knew better than the person who did the singing. Sometimes singers sound significantly
Very
different
helpful.
singing.
No, it's probably that.
No,
Yeah,
you're
right.
That's not right. People sing weird. I think that's rude.
I think that's wrong. Source, maybe.
Stars has 3 singing voices. I think you should give 2 of them back to the people you took them from. Anyway, is there anything else we want to say about episode 1? We introduced Nijika. We've already talked about our opinions of Nijika the normal. We also meet Rio, right? Yeah, Rio Yamada.
Rio, this isn't the best time to talk about the best character.
If you insist.
Sure. I don't care.
You don't care. All right. In that case, we'll move on to episode 2. Episode 2, see you tomorrow. Bochi gets a quick lesson on how many clubs change bands for performing depending on the charge bands for performing depending on the number of tickets they sell. In need of money to make up for their poor performance, the band decides to get a job at the same club they just performed, as Nijika's older sister Seika is the manager there. Bochi tries to make herself have a cold to avoid having to work and interact with other people, but ends up healthy enough to go anyway. Despite her unease at pouring and serving drinks at a full club, she is able to get through the workday and inspired by seeing another rock band perform. However, the next day she suffers a cold for real.
This one's just a cute slice of life.
It is. I like this little behind-the-scenes aspect of performing at a club. I never would have thought of the idea of a cover charge for bands like that.
I mean, it makes sense. I wouldn't be surprised if, like, I haven't done any research to see if it is true. I imagine it probably is pretty true for some bands.
Yeah, I'm guessing they wouldn't have put that detail in if it didn't at least happen every now and then. The song that plays over the conversation at the end of the episode. You mean episode 2, Stars? We can talk about Seika here, who I really enjoyed.
Oh, the manager?
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah, she's great. She has a weird thing going on with like her communication skills.
Mm-hmm.
I can't really identify anything specific about it. But
in the sense of putting a label on it, me either. But to me, it just seemed like she was trying to be cool in a way that made her bad communicating. Like, it felt like she was trying to be a character in a manga.
No, yeah, she's definitely putting on
Mm-hmm.
a just a cool sort of
She's
I guess
got a
just
vibe that
persona.
She wants, and she's working hard to get that vibe at the expense of clearly communicating with people. I think that she also doesn't want to be seen as going easy on her younger sister, which I think she says that explicitly. But
yeah. He also does have she seems to have a lot more of like a cutesy side to her that she really hates when everyone keeps taking photos of her being cutesy with like a plush or just smiling in general.
Mm-hmm. Now, Stars mentions really liking her goth girlfriend, Pa-chan, who is the absolute best kind of background bit character.
She exists to serve a visual purpose,
yep,
in that she also helps run the place, and we learn absolutely nothing about her, and she eats up 0 screen time from other characters that need it.
Absolutely. Every now and again, somebody can say something to her, and she'll be like, oh, yes.
No, yes.
What visual purpose do you mean? I would like to hear.
You know what visual purpose.
Yeah, running the music part. We see her using the volume mixer.
Yep, that's it. That's the one.
I mean, what else did you think I meant when I said visual purpose?
Yeah.
Like, that this kind of bar place that hosts rock bands would need to have like a goth character, because that's just what those kinds of places are.
Well, Stars mentions that she has impeccable vibes, which is something that I was going to bring up. Like, when you have these background bit characters, having a memorable design is very important. And she's just so dang cute.
She is very cute, but also you gotta remember that the venue, Starry, is pretty new. Not as popular as any place others. So we only have one goth that has appeared. We do not yet have a flock of goths.
Yeah, they haven't bred yet. Okay. Should probably actually talk about the episode.
I mean, Bochi gets better at serving drinks,
Bochi gets better at serving drinks, kind of. Yeah.
We did it! And then everybody clapped.
Everybody clapped the end. Yeah, episode 3.
Let's continue.
Episode 3, be right there. Bochi tries to work up the nerve to ask her classmate EQ Kita to be the vocalist and backup guitarist. Kita wants Bochi's help in learning how to play the guitar to get closer to her senior bandmate. However, as the two of them travel to Shimokitazawa, Kita panics at seeing Nijika and Rio, as she was the guitarist before the previous show. The manager convinces Kita to work at the club, and she immediately makes a good impression on the others, though Bochi feels jealous. Kita does not think she can join the band after running away before, but after working the show, the other girls convince her to try again.
Okay, so this is the episode I want to talk about it.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, I assume I'm the only one who sees it. Chat, back me up if you agree. Well, of course, Kita is a lesbian. That's not even subtext. They do everything to state it without outright stating it.
Well, they do also just state it. At least in the version I watched, the subs specifically say, I have a crush on Rio.
Yeah, she does literally say like, "Oh yeah, I joined this band to get closer to the senpai in the band."
Yeah, it's like Watamote when people keep saying like, "Oh, I think Tomoko's a lesbian." Haha, like no, you don't think that. That is what it is. It says. I mean, she's not a lesbian, but it says very clearly that she's got some sophistry in those bones.
Mm-hmm. But the main thing I wanted to talk about, and I don't really agree with this point anymore. As the episodes go on, this happens less and less to the point it stops existing. But the original time we meet Kita, and pretty much throughout the episode, we see a lot of like small details of just a mental state that suggests to me she has some form of depression.
Yeah, I think I see what's making you say that. I didn't get that impression, but I can see that read. I think you have to work for it. But yeah, I get it.
Yeah, it's just her general like automatic ideas just, oh yeah, obviously the band wouldn't want me back even though I like these people because I left and I flaked out on them, which is not really that bad of a thing, but to me it's like, oh no, of course it's unforgivable. Obviously. Which you could also read that as just a different kind of anxiety. But I guess just for me, it really hits home, so I'm probably just reading into it too much or putting myself in there.
My biggest thing about that is that flaking out on your band before a performance is not a small thing. That's a very big thing. And I think it's very reasonable to think that the band would not want you back after you already made it clear that you are not to be trusted.
See, I would agree with that if this was real world, but this is the cartoon Bochi world where everything is pleasant.
I see. My problem with that is that the characters don't know that it's cartoon Bochi world. They think it's real world.
Yeah, exactly.
That's fair.
Mm-hmm.
I mean that more so like the tone of the series.
Yeah, sure. No, of course, like, from a dramatic irony perspective, we all know that this is a cute girls doing cute things show with color-coded characters who are all going to get together and make each other better, happier people. And we know that this episode is going to end with Kita going back to her friends and saying, hey, please let me back in the band, and the bandmates saying, oh yes, of course, we love you, Kita. Come be our friend and be happy. But Kita does not know that. And even with that dramatic irony in mind, the viewer has to see the arc where Kita goes from thinking that people will not want to hang out with her to hanging out with them. Otherwise, there's no episode.
It's fair.
Yeah.
Also, like I said, I don't get the impression that Kita is particularly depressed. I understand where somebody could get that read. But I think if Kita does have some kind of depression, that sort of diminishes what I was talking about earlier. I don't know, it changes what I was talking about earlier with her singing Bochi's lyrics. Because if this were a show about the band and not a show about Bochi, then I think that Kita having some kind of depression and being able to express that because somebody else wrote the song would be a very good move. But since this is a show about Bochi, I think it's kind of important that Kita does not have the same kind of problems that Bochi does. Because
I would definitely still label her as having a form of anxiety, but it's definitely a lot lighter than Bochi's.
It's lighter, it's different, and it's underplayed because the show is about Bochi.
Yes.
But yeah, it is important that she doesn't have the same level of problem that Bochi does, so that Bochi can use her as a mouthpiece to express herself. And it doesn't become about Kita in the way that everything in the world becomes about Kita, because she has Kita aura, you know?
Girl has main character energy
She
radiating
should do.
off of her, and she does not know this.
Mm-hmm. She was beautiful, and she didn't even know it. Let's see. We meet Kita. You still don't want to talk about Rio yet?
Next episode.
Okay. Oh, yes. Yes, next episode is right. Episode 4? Tank? You good?
I'm good.
Cool.
I don't think I have much to say.
All right, awesome. Episode 4.
Yeah.
Jumping Girl. Girls? Bochi is tasked with writing lyrics to the new original song. She even tries to put herself in the mindset of a party girl, but ends up frightening her family. The next day, the band decides to go out to a park for inspiration and increase their online social media presence with some group photos. However, Bochi has a breakdown at the thought of turning into a attention whore online. Later, Bochi meets Rio in a small cafe and learns that Rio used to be active in another band, but later after she felt that they were selling out to chase popular trends. That night, Bochi finds the inspiration to write a new song and hopes to take more photos with the band. My nose is itchy. Yeah. So this is the one.
This is the one. I mean, to be fair, this was the episode everybody was posting when it came out.
Absolutely. No, this is a fantastic episode.
Was not expecting them to actually say the phrase attention whore.
I don't remember, to be honest.
No, that did also strike me. It was pretty great. Like, the way this show treats online media presence was very relatable. I particularly like when she gets into the comments section of her YouTube channel in like episode 8 or 9 or something. We'll get to that later. So you wanted to talk about Rio in this episode.
Yeah, I want to talk about Rio. I want to talk about the cafe. I want to talk about
King's
a lot.
Here.
Hi, Fire King. Are you also here to talk about Rio?
Yeah, Fire King's been watching the stream and said, okay, it's time. I've got to get in here.
One sec.
Okay. Bochi having anxieties and complexes about her anxiety and complexes is just phenomenal. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's how it is.
Yeah. Nessing complexes. Love
No,
that.
it's not. Headset's not working. I'm trying. Sorry for interrupting.
No problem. You're good. Sorry that your headset's not working.
There we go.
Also, I figured out where the echo was coming from. Because OBS is picking up my desktop audio, which includes my audio in the Discord call.
That
And
makes
if it
sense.
was also picking up my mic, then that's 2 audio feeds. I did it.
We did it, gang.
We did it. All
I
right.
got
Anyway,
Sam now.
hey, Rio.
Rio.
The best character. I believe I mentioned towards the beginning of my watch of this of how I feel like throughout my life I have embodied 3 of the different characters of this show.
Sure.
First was Bochi. Again, like I said, severe social anxiety. I was an absolute mess who made one person, who made friends with like one person in high school, and I don't remember how I did it.
Mm-hmm.
And then made like no friends in college. And then throughout life, I got a bit more social and became a bit more like Kita, where I would go out of my way to make as many friends as possible, and it was not fun. I hated it. I was constantly low energy. And now, evolved from a cocoon of anxiety and social ineptitude, I have become Rio. I do not give a shit.
May you eventually
And,
make your way to Nijika.
No,
No,
I am staying here.
No. How can you
Because
say that?
why would I
Daniel?
become Nijika when I'm already perfect?
No, yeah, I don't feel like I was ever Bochi bad. but I went from Rio to Rio tinged with Nijika over the course of my life. So I've had an arc.
I will still pay for my food, though. I'm not fully there yet.
Of course. Eventually, I'll pay everyone back. Just as soon as my YouTube channel takes off, guys, I promise.
You had a good start at some point.
I was
joking.
I know.
Hit me in the heart. No, it's my Patreon that's struggling, not my channel.
I am known for being the ruthless.
No! Stop it. You're gonna make me Bochi.
I just love Rio because it's such a perfect foil to Bochi of somebody who is also alone, but also, wants to be alone.
When she comments on how there's such a big difference between the lonely and the loner. That was an incredible line.
That was my time in high school.
Mm-hmm.
As well as just Rio just pretty much like perfectly getting past Bochi's like a headspace of her lyrics aren't like they're gonna be awful. Oh no, I'm gonna fail everyone. It's gonna be the worst. And Rio immediately cuts that away by saying, "Hey, I want you to write what you want to write, and also if you write something depressing, wouldn't it be hilarious if Kita sings it?" And it is.
Mm-hmm. No,
this girl does not give a single care in her entire life, and she is better for it. She is fulfilled.
Mm-hmm. No, what was I gonna say? I forgot.
Come to the club, man. I'm starting to get there.
You forgot.
Reminds me of my partner who actively supports the autism allegations. Excellent. Everyone needs someone to do that for them.
I wonder why I support the actively support the autism allegations.
Mm-hmm.
What does the
I
autism
cannot
allegation mean?
Someone alleging autism.
Well, I mean, but the makes some that specific.
I mean, Rio's just autistic. That's just a fact.
I assume that Stars was talking about themselves.
But Rio is autistic.
Which is why I said everyone needs someone to do that for them. No, my partner also very recently said, like, hey, do you think you might be autistic? I'm like, I think I'm 30 years old and it doesn't matter anymore. I think I'm set in ways and no amount of labels is going to change that.
I think if I spend money to get examined for autism, then I will have wasted money to prove a point I already knew.
Mm-hmm. Rio reminding me of my partner points to Rio being autistic because my partner is. Okay, that also makes sense. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, the creative temptation to do what's popular because it's popular. So, as a person who works in a creative field professionally and has to make content whether he wants to or not, I feel like the idea that you only make content that speaks to you is a charming one and an ideal one, but not one that is sustainable for anybody who wants to work in this kind of business. Like,
as an artist, I can tell you that's true.
Yeah, well, as an artist, I'm speaking from experience.
You got more experience than me.
I don't know. I don't think I consider myself an artist, but as a creative person who works a creative job.
That's more accurate than for my description too.
Yeah. I think that Rio's speech was very touching and very good advice for a hobbyist musician.
I don't think you have to necessarily chase trends to
No, but they're so
hit
damn
that point.
useful.
Oh no, like if you want to do that professionally, then you're going to do that, but you'll still have time for a couple passion projects along the way.
Well, I don't think it's time that's the issue. I think it's passion. I think that there is always going to be a limited number of things that you want to do. Your inspiration is not an infinite resource unless you're some kind of creative freak. every field is going to have its Stephen Hawkings. Like, they're geniuses who want to do nothing but revolutionize their field time and time again. But for most people, you're going to run out of songs that you want to write and paintings you want to create. But you'll still have to write songs and make paintings to make money. And when you have to do that, you make the things that other people want you to make. Not because it's betraying your sense of creative honor or whatever, but because there's nothing you want to do, but you have to do something. So you may as well make the things that people want you to make. Like, all of my best videos are the ones that I wanted to make. The Blue Lock video, the Married to a Moomin video, like, that's actually an excellent example. The Married to a Moomin video has 750,000, 800,000 views, something like that. And I was so excited to make that video. I think it is the funniest thing I've ever made. I was driven and passionate about it the entire time, and I got rewarded for that. After that, I made the Pillow Boys video, because I knew that people wanted more weird anime content. Not because I thought that Pillow Boys... I didn't think that Pillow Boys was the best series for that kind of video. But I wanted to make another video of that kind, and I needed a series for it. So I found Pillow Boys, and it has around about 200,000 views. Which is still incredible by channel standards, but it's not 750,000. The passion is ideal, and the things that you're most excited to make are the things that people are going to respond best to. But you can't always have that excitement and that passion. You have to do other things, which is where things like the Pillow Boys video and the Dummy Head Mike video come from. They aren't bad videos. I don't regret making them. I don't feel like I betrayed myself by making them. But I made them because people wanted me to make them, not because I was inspired to make them, if that makes sense.
I think I understand, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I get that.
And every creative person who works this as a job is going to have to do that, which is why I think that Rio's advice is a little bit off the mark. Because Bochi's self-stated goal is dropping out of school. That's all she wants to do with this music. And if she is going to drop out of school and be a musician full-time, then she's going to have to do what people want her to do. And that doesn't mean chasing trends, it means responding to your audience.
Rio is not making it past. She's not gonna be doing this full time if that's her mindset.
And for most people, that's fine. Most people don't have to or want to do this full time. Like, you do what you want to do, make a little bit of extra money, maybe, and that's totally fine. But yeah, this puritanical attitude toward creativity is not going to do anyone any favors in a professional sphere.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the maybe central aspect here is that they are, after all, high school girls. They don't really have to worry about this as a career.
They don't have to worry about this as a career yet. And also, that's a very high school girl mentality to have. So I'm totally cool with the scene.
I haven't seen the series yet, but basically what you're describing reminds me of Keep Your Hands Off Izuken. To some extent.
Sort of.
As a parable.
Yeah, that is something that Izuken grappled with a whole lot. I forget her name. I want to call her Sonozaki. She's your favorite character, Scrub.
Kanamori?
Yes,
the rich
Kanamori
one?
Sounds right. Not the rich girl, the manager.
Oh.
But yeah.
Oh, because she's the one who's always realistic.
Yeah, Kanamori saying we don't have time to hand draw every one of these in-between frames. And both of the others saying, like, but no, art. Like, it's better to have art. Well, that's a different case, because with Kanamori, she was saying it's better to have art that exists than to have perfection that doesn't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and there's no character like Kanamori in Bochi, I guess.
I feel like Nijika's sister probably has that mentality.
I guess to some extent,
but
yeah.
that's me reading into things. It's just my impression.
I mean, of course, my memory might be a bit muddy, but I feel like that makes sense because I can kind of remember there being some scenes where she tries to give them such advice. In general, he tries to act like a lot colder and how would I say it, more strict
Mm-hmm.
uh, than
Well, it would just make sense
I
to
don't know
me
what number.
because her thing is that she wants this band to succeed, but she doesn't want to hand that success to them. And if
Yeah,
she really wants this band to succeed and wants them to work for it, then eventually she's going to need to help them realize you can't just write the music you want to write. You have to write the music you need to write.
I mean, in a weird way, Rio also gives the same sort of advice just from the other side of like, although I don't think she realizes it, of just like, yeah, Bochi's lyrics are good, but they're not going to resonate with everyone. They're just going to hit the few people hard.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not going to live off of the few people unless you are a conglomerate specifically targeting whales.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Rio is very much working for this artistic integrity angle, which reminds me of one of my favorite things that John Green, or maybe it was Hank, I forget, one of them has ever said, which, when asked about growing their fan base and becoming famous worldwide, they responded, "Cult fame is the only fame worth having." You want people to respond very specifically and personally to the kind of content you put out. That's, I think, what every artist wants. So Rio is saying, like, yeah, you want to reach that cult fame status. You want to have a small group of dedicated people who really resonate with what you say. And the only way you can do that is by writing this music that speaks directly to them because it comes from this very personal place.
You want the YouTube comments that continue the discussion and bounce off your points rather than the YouTube comments that say, wow, cool video.
Mm-hmm. Very much so. Stars points out that this is another situation of Bochi finding her personal voice, with Rio encouraging her to say, hey, you actually do have something to say, something that's important and something that's going to resonate with people. You aren't just wasting space and airtime with your words, so say them, loser. This episode also, I think, has my favorite line in the series. Which is when they're walking around trying to find places to take their photos. And Kita points to that wall full of posters and says, hey, this will be a great spot. And Rio's like, there used to be a CD store here. I loved going there. Imagine that, all of these beautiful little shops closing day by day as time goes on. The world isn't made for us anymore, is it? It's getting worse every day. And Kita just gets distraught because she's upset Rio so much, and Nijika puts a hand on her shoulder and says, don't worry, 90% of everything she says is just for vibes.
That's so valid.
Uh-huh. No, like, I have never felt so called out in my life. Like, I've mentioned before that I'm basically ChatGPT in situations like this, where I will just fill in a line that sounds like it should go here without actually thinking through the implications of what I've said. Like, yeah, that sounds smart. I'll say that.
Wait, but I mean, what Rio said makes sense because I mean the fact that all music is bought digitally now means that such places died.
Sure, of course.
And that's somewhat sad.
Of course what Rio says makes sense. It's a valid thing to say, but Nijika is saying she's not saying it because she believes it. She's saying it because she wants to be the kind of person who would believe it. She wants you to think that she would think this.
Oh. I guess that also makes sense, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Find it really interesting the only place Bochi finds and wants to take a picture is in front of a fake tree. What's up with fake tree, Stars?
Oh my god, it's a fake tree.
It's to show that Bochi is fake.
Yeah,
fake fan.
Bochi
fake music fan.
You're fake! A big fat pony!
You're
Sorry,
a pony!
I don't have much to say about the show yet, so I'm just here for comedy.
Fantastic.
It's okay. I am also here for comedy. Not just for the video, for life itself.
I'm here for tragedy.
Sorry, can I just expose something before we move on? Because you already mentioned it twice that you didn't really relate to Bochi. Oh, you don't really relate to Bochi that much, or that you don't really have a point in your life when you would have said you were just like Bochi.
Mm-hmm.
Is that right?
Yeah.
But I remember on certain previous occasions you said you do like relate to Tomoko. So I just wanted to ask, like,
that's a very good question.
How you see that?
I would say that it's because I interpret Tomoko more as a cringy character and Bochi more as a character who is afraid. I never felt that fear in social situations. It's just that the things that I did when I was socializing with people were not the correct things. I would often do things that were cringy and socially faux pas.
Yeah.
When I didn't mean to. And sometimes when I did mean to, because it's easier to intentionally do the wrong thing than it is to try to do the right thing.
I see.
Mm-hmm. I feel like that's why I relate more to Tomoko than Bochi. Plus, Tomoko plays magic and beats up grade schoolers to feel good about herself, and that's relatable.
Beat up all those grade schoolers, so then they do the same thing to the next year's grades.
Yeah. The reality Bochi lives in is often way too intense for her. She is an indoor child, but wants to participate, wants to contribute. So she has that moment that a tree that is not a true tree feels safer. All right. Hey, Victoria, what's up? Yeah. I really like that, Stars. You find this place outside in the real world that still has... It has a drawing on a wall of actual scenery, so it's like a transitional period or like a liminal space between real world and fake indoor safe world.
It's actually really smart.
Yeah, I like that.
Or maybe we're just reading way too deep into it. I feel like, especially if this is modeled on an actual location, then I could imagine we're just totally off mark.
Nah, there's no such thing as reading way too deep into things.
Well, there can be, but as long as it makes you appreciate the work more, that's the important thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you said it yourself in one of your earlier videos of just, even if the author flipped the coin to say, oh yeah, the lights are turned off in this scene, I'm still going to read into it, and the interpretation is valid.
Mm-hmm. No, as long as it's consistent is the only thing. I had something I was going to say about that. A painting on a wall, like, it reminds me of the inside of a nursery. Anyway, if I think of it, I'll come back to it.
Okay.
Should we move on to episode 5?
I suppose so, yeah.
Need you guys shocked to find that Seika will not let them back on stage for the club's next live show without auditioning first. The band decides to focus on practicing the new original song over the week. The band manages to pass the audition with Seika quietly telling her friend that she initially blocked Niji's band to motivate them to work harder. Bochi is wrecked with fear after hearing she will have to sell at least 5 tickets to help the band break even with the venue's reserve fee. Mom, dad, sister, dog.
Dog. I think my favorite really is just the weird, like, pixelated, like we shot this live action finger on our Nintendo color camera.
Mm-hmm.
That's my favorite aesthetic they go for.
Let me stop everything real quick. Is their dog's name Weird Jimmy?
Wait, does their dog even have a name?
The name is Jimmy Hen. And Hen means strange. Is their dog's name Weird Jimmy?
Named after Jimi Hendrix. That's what it says on Wikipedia.
Oh, Of course.
Which I'm sure to
weird Jimmy.
other languages. I'm sure to like other languages, Jimmy's name is weird.
Bruce Springsteen.
Bruce Springsteen.
Bruce Springsteen. No.
So-called free thinkers when Bruce Springsteen.
I did not catch the dog's name at all, and I was sitting here looking at Jimmy Hen and like, heh, weird Jimmy.
Weird Jimmy.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Futari Goto, Hitori's sister, and this is our dog, Weird Jimmy. Which is an interpretation that made me enjoy the series more.
I'm always gonna think about Weird Jimmy for the rest of my life now.
To be fair, I don't know if it would be weirder to name your dog Weird Jimmy or Jimi Hendrix.
Well, Jimi Hendrix is a real mouthful in Japanese. Jimmy Hen is a much better dog name.
I can definitely...
What I mean is like naming your dog after a rock star in the first place. That just seems
the
kinda
dad is a musician, or at least was a musician, so it makes sense.
Well,
Turns out he has a lifelong feud with Jimi Hendrix and named the dog that just to the heck of it.
Isn't this the episode where Hiyori appears? Is that the alcoholic bassist? I think that's the next one. Yeah,
that's the next one. This one's just they do the sick ass audition and get the they get the win
they get
and
the spot.
And then we get mom, dad, sister, dog.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Man, woman, TV, camera. Yeah. I know that one.
And then in the end, like, most of them can't attend? Or like, well, the sister and
There's
the dog
a
can't.
typhoon. There's a typhoon and none of them can attend. But yeah, this is also the one where I was talking earlier about the different tracks. Because the audition is where that really shows, with the off-kilter drumming and Nijika's voice cracking, which is always just a gut punch to me whenever you hear a character's voice crack on stage. I think it happens in Nena, too. Goku solos Bochi. Remember very little of this episode from the aforementioned stuff about the recording. Well, I'm sorry, Stars.
It is very much just an episode to move the plot along with a bit.
Plot happens.
The plot happens, and then Bochi happens at the end with the just everything. I mean, we also get the we also do get the other important scene where it's like, you know, they finish the audition, they get like the green light, they did good, and then you know, Bochi starts damming up.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Me neither.
Do you not remember? I don't know if there's a bit of the scene that cuts to live action dams flooding.
Oh yeah, I kind of remember.
Vaguely.
It's kind of like a whole technical difficulties or some kind of...
Yeah, technical difficulties as a dam floods over.
I see.
Yeah, but that was like... I don't remember what was going on in that scene. It was like representing Bochi throwing up or something like that.
Says that she throws up.
Yeah. I was like, damn, I feel that.
Haha, damn.
Haha, funny pun.
I feel that, damn.
This is some good concrete. This is a good dam.
I love concrete.
Oh, I love eating concrete. Yummy, yummy cement.
Episode 6. 8
I
views.
guess.
Bochi faces a difficult task after realizing that the only people close to her who can buy tickets are her parents. Her pride prevents her from asking their help to sell the others. As she sits in the park in a state of melancholy, an alcoholic woman, Kikuri Hiroi, stumbles by. In the conversation that follows, she reveals that she plays the bass for another band and, as thank you to Bochi for buying her food, sets up an impromptu live show in the street with her to help sell the remaining tickets. After the performance ends, a couple of girls buy 2 of the tickets from Bochi, and Kikuri buys the 3rd and last one. While watching a fireworks show, Bochi responds to her bandmates that she sold all her tickets, but they assume she is lying.
So, like, okay, Hiroi is a problem. I like her.
Has or is?
Yes.
Okay.
I like her.
I feel like I like her despite everything.
No, yeah, that's the thing. She is insanely problematic. I was actually surprised when after they had scenes of Bochi stacking tables and there was like, you know, warnings below saying, "Hey kids, don't do this." And then there was nothing like that for the like constant drinking and her asking, "Hey Bochi,"
apple juice cartons.
And just asking, "Hey Bochi, do you want to get drunk with me?"
Well, at that point, Bochi was being a responsible role model and saying, "No, I'm underage."
I still feel like there should have been maybe an advisory warning. It's like, "Hey kids, don't constantly drink like this.
If
you
you're
will
going
die."
to have one for standing on a table, then yeah, probably.
I love her a lot. She is very funny, though.
Yeah.
She will die at age like 39.
No, the whole conversation about the cycle of happiness was very good.
It's like, that's a dependency issue.
Yep. I start to remember all the bad things in my life. I drink a little. I get really happy. I drink more. I get happier. It keeps going. Never stops.
God, now you got that song in my head.
Sure, why not? Okay, I need to get some water. I'll be right back.
Hiroi is still a very interesting character. She's sort of that archetype of the kooky mentor figure in a way. Because she's an absolute drunk, but she's also the only person in the series who gives like the best advice to Bochi.
So would you count her as like, say, the washed up drunk?
I wouldn't call her washed up because she clearly does still have a lot of skill, and she is performing in a band that's that has some popularity to it. I mean,
Fair,
seems...
but washed up doesn't mean like it's all over. It means you could still be going.
That is true, but
like she had probably higher potential, but now she's drinking instead of using it.
In a way, it's almost posited by the show itself that it seems like her drinking has helped her in a way with her band, because they play psychedelic rock. As well as just, it helps her calm her nerves, and it doesn't outright suggest it, but it implies that she wouldn't be as good as she is if she couldn't curb that anxiety of hers through drinking. In a way, it's sort of suggesting that Bochi needs to find her own method to help herself. I hope it's not drinking. But Hiyori gives probably the best line in the entire series that we'll need to discuss when ExPoint gets back.
Hello, I'm back.
Awesome, perfect. I am a genius.
What?
He's here to spoil stuff for me.
What happened?
I wanted to talk about the best line in the whole series.
Okay.
With Bochi, or with Hiyori specifically saying like, "Hey, you can close your eyes if you don't like it, but the audience is not your enemy." That is like the biggest line for anybody with like heavy anxiety. That is like the statement where it's like, yeah, of course I know that's true, but like you don't really know.
You can know something but still not believe in it.
No, that's a very common thread among pretty much any mental illness, is the schism between what you know to be true and what feels right.
And they do play it off as a joke a bit at the end, with just like, actually, I only had one eye open. Bochi was only using 50% of her power.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still progress.
For sure.
Like, it is showing Bochi is making progress through the help of others.
Mm-hmm. And I'm making this Mushoku Tensei video, so I've been thinking about the show a lot. And one thing that it does incredibly poorly is treating Rudius's agoraphobia. Which, of the myriad things that show does incredibly poorly, this is the one that sort of struck me, because this is the one that people really point to as an example of what the series does well. But to fix... Rudy has a problem leaving his property. For the first, 5 years of his life, he never goes past his parents' says he never goes past his parents' fence, but he does? No, that is later. Hold on, I'm getting my timeline mixed up. Never goes past his parents' garden gate. And his teacher wants to take him out for a magic exam, way out in the fields where they're not going to hurt anybody. Puts him on a horse, and they ride past the gate together. And as they are going through town, he has his eyes closed, he's clinging onto a robe, and people start saying hi to her and waving at her, and he looks out and he thinks, wait, these people aren't even looking at me. They're actually friendly. Maybe I had nothing to be afraid of the whole time. And it never gets brought up again. I mean, every now and then we get a little flashback to his traumatic incident. But he has no symptoms of agoraphobia from that point on, after spending 34 years as a hikikomori. I know that...
Yeah, it's because he's scared of chain link fences.
Right.
There is something somewhat similar, but it's more so the trust of other people rather than that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of immediately killed off rather fast late in season 2. Or whatever was the last season.
Of Tensei?
Yeah.
Season part 1, I think.
It's season 2. Season 2 started a couple of seasons back.
Then it was later in season 2. It was something similar to that, but it was also kind of being the betrayal of the people and mob mentality.
I think I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Bochi.
You know, I just realized we didn't get to talk about the best line of episode 5.
Which is?
Bochi, I see you.
Oh, yeah, you were big on that one.
Yeah, I love that line so much.
Mm-hmm.
What's the context of it? I don't remember it at all.
It's literally just the manager seeing Bochi's working hard and wants to give, just acknowledgement of that, a congratulations of sorts. And she says, I see you. And as, okay, if my boss walked up to me and said, hey, I see you, I would immediately assume I have messed up somehow and I'm going to get fired. And if I get fired, then I won't be able to pay rent. And if I don't pay rent, then I'm going to get kicked out on the street and ruin everything for all my friends and roommates. And then I'll be homeless and die alone.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I was on my phone in the corner for a couple of seconds. I thought I had a text, but I didn't actually have a text. It was words with friends telling me that someone already made their move. I'm sorry for wasting your time.
Yeah. I think I remember it now.
Mm-hmm.
But it's such a good line, because
I
can completely understand how you could see that line as just acknowledgement of hard work and skill, and I would really appreciate that if that was the first thing I thought when I hear that line, but it's not.
That's why, as somebody who doesn't have crippling social anxiety, your next question is, what do you see? There's this line in the web serial Pact where one character goes up to another character and they're enemies, and the first character's like, I know what you did, and the other character's like, before somebody reveals something in the stupidest way possible, what do you know? I just feel like that kind of mentality could apply very well here.
Yeah.
Alright. Episode 6, buying her food.
Yeah,
do you have any thoughts on the Drunken Master?
On Hiroi, I enjoyed watching her immensely. I don't think that was this episode, but the line when she meets Rio, and Rio says like, "Oh yeah, I know you. I've seen your band like 5 times." The memory of you stepping on my face and yelling "Good night, Shinjuku, I love you, motherfuckers" is seared into my brain. It's a great point of pride.
I mean, listen, if I was following somebody a lot and they did that to me, I'd be like, thanks.
Mm-hmm. The moment where she opens her eye up is really beautiful because the first time she's forming a performer-audience connection. No, it's a great moment. And that's what I was trying to get at with the Mushoku Tensei reference, is that Bochi is very good at showing these little steps and making incremental progress that isn't linear. Like, Bochi has these progress plateaus and steps backwards. It's not just like a linear line from bad to good. There's a curve there.
Shout out to those 2 kimono girls in the audience that were just like the most cheerful and helpful people ever.
Mm-hmm.
Getting positive reinforcement like that is the nicest thing in the whole world.
Having a stranger say, "I would love to come to your performance," has to be the best thing as a musician. Like, of course, people showing up to your performance is great, but having someone on the street say, "I want to go out of my way to come see you perform specifically," has to be just the best. Episode 7?
I suppose, unless we want to talk about Hiyori's liver problems, we can probably move on to episode 7.
Tenek?
I just want to ask, did we mention or talk about why Hiyori is an alcoholic?
Not yet. I feel like it gets more into that in later episodes, but...
I briefly touched on it, but we can go into it more... Yeah, we can go into it more later. I mean, I think it's better if we wait to the episode where she performs herself.
That's fair. Episode 7, To Your House. Ichika and Kita decide to come to Bochi's house, consider designs for a t-shirt they will wear at the concert. Since this is Bochi's first time inviting someone to her house, she goes overboard with her decorations and confuses her bandmates, her parents, despite not believing that Bochi will actually make friends, spend time with the group. After the evening, they realize that they have spent the whole day without coming up with any designs and decide to use Ichika's initial simple t-shirt design. Unfortunately, Typhoon abruptly changes course, coming near Tokyo on the date of their live performance. And they made those Bozus and everything.
So, I think there's like 2 real big things I want to talk about when it comes to Bochi's anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, my ADHD literally just made me forget the second one, so we'll talk about the first and pray that I remember.
Mood.
So the first one is the family scene. Just, you know, they're getting along so well. They're having a great time, and Bochi's sitting in the corner, just like, I don't know if I can hop in. This energy is forming a force field where I cannot get through.
Aw, man, it's my best friends and my parents. How could I interrupt? I wouldn't dare impose my presence on any of these people when they're having such a great time.
It's so true to anxiety because it's like the obvious question is like, yeah, but why? Why would your presence be a bad thing? It's like, it just is, idiot.
No, that is something that I have really bad when it comes to relating to Bochi. I'm very bad at inserting myself into conversations.
Stars brings up a really good point in that, like, her parents are kind of mean, but they also clearly care about her a lot.
No, it's the same deal that I was talking about with Tomoko in Watamote, where nobody seems to know what her deal is or how she became this way, which I very much appreciate. Because sometimes brain just broke. Sometimes that's all there is to it.
It is kind of funny, though, because Near episode, I believe episode 11, it's either 11 or 12, you can see a lot of like Bochi's anxiety in a much more mild case in her father.
Yeah? What makes you say that?
I mean, just the way he acts when bringing up the broken guitar.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he stumbles and stutters and freaks out in a much more mild way than like she does.
Yeah, I guess so. I can see that. I didn't think anything of it while I was watching, but yeah. Let's see here. I love the gag of Bochi going overboard with every attempt to socialize. Just the banner outside her house was hilarious.
I love just the one guy walking across the street just going, wait, what the fuck?
Did a spa open up here?
Okay.
No, that's hilarious. The exorcism seals, very good. Very mean. And I love the gag that they don't believe that Bochi has actual real friends.
That I actually remember.
Mm-hmm.
Wait,
But
what do you mean, child? There are real people in this house and they aren't imaginary?
Is she paying you? 'Cause we'll cover your fare. We'll pay you instead.
Thank you for being nice to her, but you can drop the facade if you want.
No, we want to be here. Believe it or not. Episode 8.
I mean, unless anybody else has anything to say, it's very much just what? Oh, I remember what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to, like, one of Bochi's biggest moments in this episode is absolutely her just gaining the courage to just speak up and say, "Hey, I want to make the what was it again? My brain's blanking. What are the dolls called?
The Terabozu.
Yeah, the Terabozu. She wants to make them, and she, like, everyone's like, it'll be fine. We don't have to make them. And Bochi just shouts like, "No, I want to make them.
I like to make the paper dolls."
It's so heartwarming to see her take those steps and be so comfortable in that friend group that she can say what she actually wants for once.
Skeetska has to reproduce tonight. Next episode is called Bochi the Rock.
This is episode 8, right?
Yeah, I think it's the one where they say the thing.
Yeah.
Despite the typhoon cutting down the expected attendance rate, Kesuk Band moves forward with their concert. Seeing the smaller crowd and hearing the less than excited comments in the show, the band members, save for Bochi, take a huge hit to their morale and make several mistakes in their opening number not present during their audition. Unable to accept this, Bochi plays out a spur-of-the-moment guitar solo, snapping the girls out of their slump and letting them play the rest of the concert successfully. At the end of the day, Nijika tells Bochi that she deduced her identity as Guitar Hero. Bochi apologizes, stating that she wanted to reveal her identity after she improved herself so as not to disappoint her fans. However, Nijika states her belief that with Bochi by their side, her dreams to follow Seika's footsteps and make her live house famous will come true, as long as she keeps showing her bandmates and audience how Bochi the Rock rocks the stage. There was something I wanted to say about this episode. Had to do with the people in the audience making weird negative comments about the opening act.
The opening act was fine. Like, it would be what I expect for a band made out of high school children.
God, what was it? What did I find notable about this scene?
I mean, you have your notes.
I do, but they're currently on screen. Here, let me just put that up real quick so that I can go to my Discord. exit full screen, and we'll go to the Bochi the Rock tab, episode 8. Oh, it was just that the band was really good and everyone was talking about them like they were the worst thing ever to happen to music.
Man, this club scene ain't banging, yo. Let's leave in the middle of this typhoon.
Yeah, what else are you going to do tonight? I saw that band as my first true exposure to Bochi the Rock and it immediately became part of my goddamn soul. I don't know what band you're talking about.
That's so valid, Stars.
Been working on English lyrics for the song. Still not done, but I'm gonna post that fucking cover someday. You do it. That's the name of the song.
That the band?
That band is the name of the song.
Mm-hmm.
Not confusing.
Stars, when you finish it, you should send that to me. I want to watch. I want to listen.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Well, how are they actually gonna send it to you? YouTube doesn't have the answer, really.
Listen,
we'll figure
Stars,
it out.
all you have to do is go to patreon.com/explanationpoint, pledge an ExPoint Discord server, and then send it in the general chat so that everyone can appreciate it.
Pretty sure I'm also still in the ExPoint fan Discord.
We don't need to acknowledge that the fan Discord exists because it's free. We don't need to acknowledge that the Explanation Point fan Discord exists. There's not a link in the description because I'm not on it, but I'm sure you can find it somewhere.
Wait, you have an unofficial fan Discord?
I do.
Yeah, I don't think it gets talked into all that much still.
Mm-hmm. But yes, there is a fan Discord. I have never been to it. I don't know what it's like, but people seem to enjoy it.
Okay. I believe in you, Stars.
I believe in you, Stars. So yeah, my big problem with this episode is just that all of these people who are in a basement venue in a typhoon are looking at their phones and complaining about a band of high school girls that rocks. What else do you want?
You mean like the problems they're having are not big enough to warrant their disappointment?
I'm saying that they aren't having problems. Like, I mean, every now and then they'll mess up some rhythm or something. I don't remember this performance being particularly bad.
It's very much just a situation of they make it sound like they're gonna lose audience members because of their poor performance.
Well, people do walk out, which I don't understand.
I'll take my chances in the typhoon.
I'm gonna walk out before the band that I want to see starts playing. Right? There was another band on tonight.
No, I think it was just them because of the typhoon canceled it.
Right. So I'm gonna walk out into the middle of a typhoon because this band isn't as good as I thought it was going to be. Like, how bad do you have to suck?
This is mid. Death take me.
I hope that this venue floods. Stars, this is probably the performance I was thinking of when the instruments were out of sync and Kita's voice cracks. Oh yeah, I saw the note in the Discord server. It is. I was thinking it was the audition, but it was this one.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, but then Bochi just like says,
Shred.
"Nah, I'm gonna do my own thing.
I'm a shred now."
She shreds so good.
Mm-hmm. No, it's like Stars said. I can believe that Bochi is incredibly talented on the guitar, and I can believe that people would stay after hearing Bochi's incredibly talented guitar playing. I can't believe that people would leave in the first place.
But at the end of the day, I mean, the songs that they do put out at the end are really good. I'm glad that there's there's a lot of people that seem to like them, and I know it's cartoon for cartoon babies, but it's real good. I enjoyed seeing Bochi win.
Yeah, same here. Which is part of why I think I don't like the ending of the show very much. But
she finally got the W. And
wait. Wait, you mean like at the ending, as in the minute 30 sequence at the end of every episode, or the ending as in the end of the show?
The end of the show.
Okay.
So, yeah, just kind of. I mean, afterwards, I also think it's hilarious that the typhoon cleared up at the end. To like, it does the weather thing that a lot of anime do, where the weather is used to symbolize.
It's a metaphor.
It's a metaphor. It's a metaphor for good times. I don't think a typhoon would clear up that fast. But you know what? Maybe it's just the power of rock energy that just parted the clouds.
Let's hope so. Maybe it was the Bozus. They just didn't make enough, so the effect was a little delayed.
Oh yeah, that makes sense.
Shall we move to episode 9?
No.
Okay.
The scene, of getting drinks with everyone, is pretty good. It kind of just goes over, like, gives everybody each who's important to the show their little moment, as they all talk to each other and discuss, and we get the really great scene where it's Bochi who notices that one person is missing. And just going out, like the whole Guitar Hero thing, a favorite game ever. I'm sure that's why Bochi named it after her.
Certainly.
So it's a very fun scene to just see Nichika just say, like, "Hey, you're Guitar Hero, right?" And Bochi, yeah, she calls Bochi a hero, and it's like the sweetest thing ever. She gives the title drop, and they go back inside, and it's just like, oh, it's like a perfect ending to this great show. I had such a good time. What do you mean there's 4 episodes left?
No, I think that was the 4th anime in a row I had watched that had done a title drop. One of them was Astro Boy, so that doesn't really count.
I'm not crazy, though. It really feels like the anime could just end here, and it would be satisfying, right?
Yeah. More satisfying than the actual ending.
Yeah. That is the one problem I have with this show, really.
Yep. Episode 9? Okay. Episode 9. Enoshima Escar. At the end of summer vacation, Bochi is utterly depressed and disappointed over the fact that none of her bandmates have invited her out like typical high schoolers should, so they invite her to the Enoshima coast out of pity to make memories. But their excursion leads to several mishaps that include being hit on by strangers, losing more money to Rio, being attacked by black kites, and developing several muscle aches the next day after climbing the long stairs to Enoshima Shrine. Despite this, Bochi has fun to the point where she wishes she could go back to the first day of summer. It's a beach episode.
It's a beach episode without the beach.
Go to the beach?
They don't go to the beach.
It's a beach episode.
It's just filler.
I do think it's very appropriate for the beach episode in Bochi never to make it to the beach.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
You mean because it's the kind of show that shouldn't have fan service, or some other reason?
Because Bochi is the kind of person whose vibes will not make it to the beach.
It's a metaphor.
It's a metaphor. It's like it's edging us with relaxation and fun, but Bochi can't quite get there.
So you mean so to get across the point of how agonizingly close Bochi is to having a proper summer fun, she never actually goes to the beach, which would be considered kind of like an essential part of a summer episode set, I guess.
Yes, exactly.
I cannot relate to Kita more than I did this episode, where she just talks about, like, come on guys, let's go up the stairs, and all of my friends are like, let's take the escalator, and I'm like, you guys are no fun at all, how dare you?
No, this is gonna be one of the more pretentious things I say on stream, but I was studying abroad in the UK once during my sophomore year of college, and we went to Glastonbury, which is known for this enormous vertical hill that goes like 100 miles up in the air. And I'm so happy that our professor said, we are all going to climb this hill. Nobody is going to stay down here unless you have diagnosed heart issues. Do you have diagnosed heart issues? Cool, we're all gonna climb this hill. And then we all climbed the hill, and it was one of the most physically demanding and horrible things I've ever done, but the view was fantastic.
I absolutely love doing stuff like this. I am so mad. I'm like the only I'm like it's not that I'm the only person in my friend group that's physically active. There's a lot of physically active people. It's just they want to take the escalator.
Yeah, I don't want to have to work for my fun. Yeah, getting to the top of the observation building thing and just standing there for 5 seconds, then turning around and leaving. We did it. We got here.
I felt so bad for her. She just wanted to like have the view and have a nice time, and they just like, it's like they fucking saw their mom at the supermarket talking to a friend of hers, and they're like, I want to go home now.
Absolutely. Like, I am also not huge on just pretty views, but I'll look at one when there's one around. Anyway.
You at least gotta drink a little bit of the scenery. You can't just, like, make it to the top of a mountain and then just say, well, I guess I'll immediately climb right back down.
Heading home.
Oh, Bochi's
little drawings. Those are very cute.
Those are very depressing if I was Bochi.
This episode, it was a filler pacing episode. Yeah.
What do you mean pacing episode?
Because we just had the emotional climax of episode 8, and the show decided to give us a break before getting into the rest of everything it was going to do. Which I think is probably a good decision. It's a fun episode. I like it. Okay. Episode 10?
Episode 10.
After Dark. Bochi hears that her school is accepting bands to play at their upcoming cultural festival, but can't bring herself to actually turn in the application form for Kasoku Band. Kita submits the form for her, but later feels guilty after seeing Bochi's reaction. Kikuri later shows up at Starry and invites Kasoku Band to see her band, Sick Hack, perform live at Shinjuku Club called Volt, where they play a more psychedelic rock style. After the show, Kikuri tells Bochi that she was also a reclusive loner throughout high school who thought playing guitar would make her more popular, so she drank a lot to deal with her nerves the day of her first live performance. Kikuri then promises to come see Bochi's next show at her school. Bochi later tells Kita that she's looking forward to the festival. It's Hiroi? Pretty
sure it's Hiyori.
I think it's... Well, the first episode where she was mentioned said Hiroi. Let's go to Mal.
Maybe she's so drunk that her name shifts.
It's Hiroi Kikuri, or I guess Kikuri Hiroi. Hiroi.
It is Hiroi. He's a hero. E.
And Hiro.
Went out of my way to take a screenshot of Kita wearing the I'm a criminal sign. Very good.
Yeah, I guess we can talk about the beginning where Bochi wants to submit her band to the event, but doesn't. And to be fair, she is correct at this at first. considering I don't think she actually brought it up with the others first before actually writing everything down.
Sure.
And that really is something where it's like, you gotta talk to your bandmates and be like,
I can't make it that day, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
like,
it's
if
just
nothing
like...
else, you have to make sure the schedule's clear. But for the same reason and also other reasons, Kita was very wrong to turn in this form.
Oh yeah, like, no, she deserves... Listen, Kita's great, but she deserves the I'm a criminal sign.
She is a criminal.
She is a criminal!
At the same time, what does the school mean you can't back out after you submitted the form?
Suffer. You will either perform your best, or you will be the laughingstock of the school, and we do not care either way.
There is no logic behind somebody coming up and saying, hey, I submitted that form without consulting my band first. They aren't going to do it. We need to go. It's like, no, you're in the slot. If they don't show up, it's an empty slot.
I think this was also the episode where I wrote out my last comment before I just watched it the rest alone, which was just, I enjoyed Bochi rolling on the floor and bonking her head against the drawer.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy funny loud bonk. Yep. That is it.
Bonk is good sound. Make brain happy, good sound.
Brain happy, yes, good, yes, dopamine, lovely, yum, yum, yum.
Good sound. Bonk, bonk. Rain, go
I have
slide.
to say...
Slide in rain. No track. Slide rain.
Smooth brain.
Yeah, I wanted to say, I'm not sure why you're so accusatory of Kira. If I remember right, Kira clearly did it because she saw that Bochi wanted to do it, and she just did it for her. I thought it was like...
That is true, but like, she also still didn't consult with Rio and the other one. Yes. Brain, please remember more than 3 names at a time.
Nijika.
Thank you. I'm sorry, Nijika. You are clearly, like, the weakest link out of the core cast, but I apologize anyway.
Yeah, Kita was still... It's a very understandable high school move to make. But assuming Bochi's mental state and saying, oh, she clearly does want to do this, she's just too nervous, that can be very damaging to somebody who has these kinds of problems, because you're basically forcing her to take a step that she has determined she's not ready to take. Otherwise, she would have taken it. It
worked out this one time, but, like, girl,
like,
don't do that again.
The fact that something works out does not mean it was the right thing to do.
I guess.
Like, there's that famous Star Trek quote where Picard tells Data, you can make no mistakes and still lose. You can make every mistake and still win. The fact that they kept the continuity of the times and amounts that Rio and Ittori owed Bochi. I didn't pay attention to that, but that's incredible. I love little details like that.
You know, I say that I would never do that to a friend where I would ask them to pay for me, and that is true. With the exception that I have the money. You know, I would always pay first if I had the money, but if I don't have the money, then, like, you know, maybe we could still go to the restaurant.
Yeah, no, the issue...
What I'm trying to say is I'm a bad friend.
With all of us as adults, who presumably have money to pay for things because you're all paying to talk about anime with me right now, is that...
I am?
Yeah. Didn't you know? But, like, Venmo exists now. You're never going to be in a situation where you will repay the money, but you just don't have it on you right now. Like, that's never going to happen again. So it's just not particularly... it's not a concern for people who have money. It's only a concern for people like Rio who don't have money.
Rio definitely is the type of person who gets her payment and then spends it all on McDonald's.
Mm-hmm. Well,
I would have thought it would be like on musical equipment
yeah, on
or
new guitar picks, amps.
That girl has definitely spent her entire paycheck on fast food at some point.
Not saying you're wrong.
But
Just
I mean,
saying
we
that
never really
she
see
will spend her entire paycheck on fast food and then go to the music store and think, oh, ah, shit.
Yeah, that is what she would do.
Let's see. Now we can talk about Kikuri being an alcoholic because she got nervous before her first live show.
Yeah.
Fine enough to ease the tension, but it's clear you have an addiction, girl.
Well, she didn't at the time.
At the time, is doing a lot of heavy lifting there.
Well, that's the thing, is that she's talking about how she started drinking so much. She got nervous before her first show and drank some alcohol to help, and now she has a horrible alcohol problem. Which I thought was just kind of a dark and important place that I didn't expect this show to go.
I think, to me, the more weird thing is that it doesn't feel dark at all. At least, I don't remember.
It feels very,
very
sad clown to me.
Yeah, the tone is not dark, but the actual subject matter is incredibly dark.
Mm-hmm. I don't think the show is trying to play it for a laugh. I think the show is trying to show that Kikuri does not see this as a problem. So she's not going to portray it as a problem.
I mean, she says it herself that Bochi is excellent because she doesn't need to drink to go on stage.
Yeah, and that is something that I've seen expressed a lot, is that when you have, like, we'll just use Kikuri as an example, Kikuri having to drink to quell her nerves to play on stage, that sense that it's a willing trade-off. Like, I know that I am an alcoholic and I have an addiction and that I am destroying my body, but it lets me do this thing I want to do, so I will accept those consequences so that I can be a performer.
Real quick, Stars, I think the reason she's so fascinating is that she's simultaneously a mentor and a dark reflection of what Bochi could become. And yet, the show never goes deep into that. At least, not the anime. It's definitely something where it could be looked into deep, and there's a lot of stuff you could pull from that, but it just doesn't, so it leaves the mind to wander.
Well, I think a lot of it is that we've been praising Bochi for the fact that it shows her making small incremental steps toward progress, where we have somebody in the form of, never remember her name, Kikuri, in the form of Kikuri, who made all of her progress all at once. She fixed her problem instantly with this one little drink. Never had to make any of this small incremental progress that Bochi made. So there is this dichotomy between the two of them. Like, do you want to actually put in the work and really fix the problem? Or do you want to put this patch on it that will get you where you want to be right now with all of these consequences involved? And I think that that's an excellent dynamic.
It's just really good. I also, I would kill to learn more about her bandmates.
They're probably in the manga.
They seem fun.
Yeah, I didn't make the connection between her addiction and the psychedelic rock that they play, but that's a very good connection, Star. I can tell that you love this series a lot.
Yeah, I think I made that point briefly when you were out. But yeah, the fact that it almost implies that her psychedelic rock is helped by her drinking.
Mm-hmm. No, I'm reading this this book series called The Poppy War by R.F. Kuang, where the general premise of the magic system is that people reach heaven and make contract with gods by getting extraordinarily high. So it's that same kind of idea where Kikuri can write better music and perform better because she drinks copious amounts of alcohol. Mm-hmm. Which, I know you called her the drunken master before, but it didn't click in my head that, yeah, that is the trope that this is, isn't it?
Yep.
Wait, does the show actually say she writes better music because of it?
No, that's just the implication is that she can only perform at all because of the alcohol, and because she writes psychedelic rock. It sort of makes that connection.
Yeah.
It leaves the onus on making the connection to the audience.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I didn't make the connection between her being a drunken master until just now, so that's really cool. Alright.
I'm trying to remember anything else. I think the only thing I can remember else from this episode is that the venue owner for this place that Hiyori's band went to set off my trans radar, and that was it.
I got queer vibes for sure.
From who?
From the manager at the club.
Oh, that person, right?
Yeah, the goth guy.
Yeah, my radar was going off.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got queer vibes. I don't know about trans specifically, but it's also, like she said, the conflict between the way he acts and the way he looks, I think, gives that impression on its
very
own.
Delightful. Again, yeah, I love the way that Hiyori just the dynamic between the two of just, she's so drunk she just punches a hole in the wall, and he's just immediately like, okay, I'll add it to your tab.
I don't have money. No, it's very good. I love when Bochi gets to this club, and Kikuri says, oh, don't worry, it's the same kind of place as Starry. When it is, but it also absolutely is not for Bochi, because there is no same kind of place as Starry, because the thing that makes Starry the kind of place that it is that she knows the people there. No, this new club is a scary, unknown place.
To me, there is a pretty big difference visually too. Of
it has
just
a different vibe, but
Starry is an underground club. This place is like where I would go to see a neighborhood play put on.
Like, it's a performing arts venue. Like, this place has beatnik poetry nights. And styrofoam cups that do not come from that venue hanging out in the gutters.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Rio's info dumping is a great bit.
It's the autism, it's the hyperfixation.
Episode 11?
Yeah.
Okay.
Duodecimal Sunset. During the first day of Cultural Festival, Bochi hides in a secluded corner of the school and realizes she hasn't updated her Guitar Hero video account for a while, fearing her online fans will leave her with nothing if she doesn't post soon. Bochi's bandmates manage to find her, and the four enjoy touring the school before taking her back to her class. She was trying to stall to escape maid cafe duties. While Bochi struggles to do the bare minimum as maid, her bandmates find more success when Bochi's classmates dress them up as maids and Rio as a butler. Later, Kasoku Band takes a look at the gym where they will be performing, and Bochi talks about how she borrowed her dad's old guitar from her father. The next day, Kasoku Band's family and friends, plus Hiroi, show up in the audience, and they take the stage to play an original set.
So, correct me if I missed something, but they never resolve the whole YouTube situation, do they?
is there a YouTube situation, really? Like,
I mean,
she hasn't uploaded in a while. That's not good for the algorithm, but you upload again
does it
later.
matter? Like, I think there's a reason. Yeah, I just wanted to say there's probably a reason why most of these plot synopses don't mention her YouTube channel.
I mean, it's not all that relevant. It just shows that Bochi has talent and that she is able to perform when there aren't lots of people watching her.
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it came back up in the manga and it was an issue that they had to resolve.
I don't know. I think that would be kind of a weird direction to go in.
I don't know how I feel about it, actually. The detail where she mentions, like, my YouTube channel is the most comforting place for me as a performer, all of the comments are always so nice. That's not relatable.
I don't believe that.
I don't believe you.
Well, I mean, they don't really make the same kind of content. I feel like that's maybe
I understand,
the reason.
like, but YouTube comments are just so... I think only Twitter has a reputation for being worse than YouTube when it comes to comments. And like, my comments are, for the most part, supportive and constructive. But I feel like...
Man, I really hate it when the political guy takes over the channel and we don't get the deep voice, funny talking comedy guy.
That really political libcuck with the whiny voice who also makes videos on this channel. God, I've gone full BreadTube. But yeah, the kind of comment that I will get every now and again, I feel like getting just one of those would make Bochi never touch YouTube again.
I can definitely see that as just a plot point. As she gets one negative comment, she just
never opens the channel again.
You mean because
contemplates deleting her whole account?
Yes, because of her anxiety. I don't think she would be able to withstand that. I don't think she's strong enough.
And you don't think the positive comments would make up for it?
Absolutely not, no.
No, that's not how anxiety works.
Comments do not matter. Like,
positive comments are the...
As much as I appreciate all of you happy commenters who are happy with the things that I produce...
Those are a default reaction. You do not consider them. They do not well in your mental state like a negative comment does.
When you have anxiety the way Bochi does, I can imagine it's like, oh, they're just lying to make me feel better. Or they're just being polite. But yeah, I don't think this channel would survive a single severely negative comment.
But yeah, so do they do anything in the show about it, or is it just kind of like, oh yeah, she didn't upload?
I don't think she does.
I can believe that there would be, well, I can definitely see that there would probably be the ratio would probably be a bit better for Japan compared to somewhere like the US, but
yes,
there's still some stinkers.
I am saying that you don't matter even a little bit as long as one negative comment exists. So you should go to my YouTube comments and comment on every single video twice, letting me know how much you appreciate my content. And you should also like and subscribe.
Send one negative comment and then
send
we're
one
gone.
Negative comment on every video so that I will think that you matter. And smash that dislike button because the algorithm counts it the same as a like.
Really?
Yeah, it's just engagement for the algorithm. It doesn't care if people are liking or disliking the video.
Not even YouTube knows how the algorithm works.
Oh, if that's true, that is a really weird...
No, it's true. They admitted it.
It's commonly repeated. I don't know that it's true. I don't know how the algorithm works. But
then
no,
why
it is
hide
literally they don't know how the algorithm works. They have to keep... You can't change the algorithm is what they admitted. You have to just keep adding to it.
Nuts.
If they tried changing the code for the algorithm, YouTube would break instantly. They don't know how it works. It's like looking at the source spaghetti of TF2.
It's such a weird system.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who make their entire lives off of this platform.
Mm-hmm. And nobody knows how. I really need to tell Google what my new bank account is so they start paying me again. I have so much back pay that they haven't given me.
We're not going to dive into
Rip.
TF2 yet.
Yeah, we're
Not
going
until
to have a
they
little
make
bit of
it
time after this conversation is over.
The only thing left in this episode that I could mention is that Rio in that butler outfit is so fucking gender, and I'm envious.
Yep. Gender as fuck,
Of
yep.
course, she even has blue hair.
Mm-hmm.
Blue hair and pronouns.
Amazing.
What's next?
I'm feeling the warmest color coming on. Real mood when Bochi's friends show up and just take her job. The gag with the post-apocalypse dudes was interesting. You're right.
What was the gag with the post-apocalypse dudes?
They just...
just like, Bochi is just believing that, like, oh, as an introvert in this new society of where community is the most important thing, I am the weak link. I will be destroyed.
Some Mad Max type dudes show up and they're like, yeah, give us some omurice, kurah! And Bochi's like, but, and they're like, oh, man, she's not intimidated even by us. We're sorry. It's a weird gag.
It's very weird. Why are they security? Are these parents?
They're just dropping off their son at school.
Well, I mean,
I can't believe Bochi added 2 gay dads. How will society recover?
2 gay post-apocalypse Mad Max dads.
But do any of us actually know how these high school festivals work in Japan? Because, like, is it actually forbidden for some random people to just come in and
Who says they're
hang
random?
out?
They were dropping off their son.
From what I've heard,
I mean,
apparently some places will restrict it to just students or parents of the students, and then some places will allow other people to just walk in.
Mm-hmm.
Don't ask me. I don't even know how American stuff like that works.
I mean, it doesn't really happen for America.
We have occasional stuff where students do performances. Like, if somebody wanted to show up to my high school's talent show, I don't know if they would have been allowed or not.
I think they probably would have been allowed just because it's so hard to check, are you a parent of one of the students?
Finale?
We can go finale.
Episode 12. Morning Light Falls on You. During the concert, Bochi's guitar sounds out of tune. One of the strings even snaps before her solo, but she manages to pull through thanks to Kita's improvising, plus one of Hiroi's glass sake containers using as a makeshift bottleneck slide. After finishing the song, Kita tries to let Bochi have the spotlight, but Bochi panics and tries to stage dive into the crowd, falling flat on her face. After recovering from the concert, Bochi's father reveals he secretly monetized Bochi's Guitar Hero account and gives her the money from her channel's ad revenue, telling her to buy a new guitar with it. Bochi goes shopping with her bandmates, and despite being scared of interacting with the staff inside, finally settles on a new guitar with Kita's help.
Amazing ending.
I mean, I really liked the performance, and I thought Bochi, like the breaking of the string and Bochi recovering, was like that's the culmination of all of Bochi's work throughout this.
Fantastic stuff. And then she does a stage dive for no reason.
Yep. I mean, what else are you gonna do? What else do you say? Can you say anything? I mean, are you kidding me? If she says anything, then the crowd will obviously eat her apart. I mean, it doesn't matter how good her performance is. They're all enemies, right?
Yep, always have been. Yeah, I feel like that undercut so much of what the series built up for 12 episodes for the sake of one mid gag.
In all honesty, I thought she was just gonna scream into the mic.
That would have been fine.
You mean there's just no precedent for her having confidence that anyone would pick her up when she would do the stage dive?
I mean, it's her just taking a leap of faith, but it is also her like forgetting some of the lessons she has learned.
Yeah, which is fine.
Like
Steps
what?
backward are fine. I did not consider that just the idea of a stage dive means that she has faith that other people will catch her, and that seems out of character.
It's basically that it's leaning. Either interpretation leans too heavy on one extreme, while Bochi is still kind of in the middle.
Yep. I expect her to smash her guitar. That would have been great. That is actually incredible. Having her awkwardly smash the guitar, then realize, oh shit, I smashed my guitar. You still don't have to do the next song in the sequence, which I think is what the episode was worried about, because that would take up a lot of time. You still get the crazy gag that ruins the concert. That's an excellent idea, Lurker.
Yeah, it is really just the problem that, like, these 4 episodes should not be part of, like, the final season arc.
Sure.
It really was just, like, we had a perfect set of 8 episodes, and then it's just like, well, we got a few more in the back if you want to take a look.
Yeah, and then when her dad gives her $3,000 and says go buy a new guitar, she can buy 2 guitars and give him one of them. And that would be really sweet. Because
that'd be really cute.
She spent this whole time learning on his guitar and playing on his guitar, and now he gets to have her guitar. If in the last episode they played a song together.
Oh my god, that'd be so sweet!
I can imagine him just, like, tuning the guitar, starting to strum along, and then she could, like, sort of join in, and then they could just, jam together for a minute. That would be really cool.
Aww.
I love this hypothetical ending to Bochi.
Wait, but Scrubber, can you still explain, what do you think Bochi learned throughout the course of the show that is contradicted by her trying to do the stage dive? Like, what's the lesson that's being contradicted here?
I mean, it's mainly it's a weird contradiction, I would put it, because she's simultaneously remembering and forgetting that the audience is not her enemy, where she doesn't speak to them or do anything verbal. She just moves on instinct. It's just an awkward situation. Or an awkward scene, I should say.
Yeah, and my problem isn't so much that it contradicts things that she's learned. It's just, it strains suspension of disbelief a bit that even somebody as awkward as Bochi would go for this. And that she would just fall face first onto the ground, and that nobody would even try to disrupt her fall. Even if she doesn't do any crowd surfing, that's fine, but I don't think people would just let her belly flop onto the gymnasium floor.
Yeah.
Am I wrong?
Yeah, I can definitely see that. I'm not sure why they just let her follow.
Yeah, like, I think that what the scene was trying to do, I think that they were concerned that playing all 3 songs without some kind of emotional climax would get boring for a finale. So they end the concert early, so they only have to play 2, and they give us a gag to lean on. And I think the gag was too silly.
Yeah, and then after they go by the guitars, it just kind of ends. From there. It just sort of like, well, it's not really much of an ending, but it stops. That doesn't end. Yeah, it just stops.
It stops. Yeah.
Like most anime based on source materials.
I mean, to be fair though, when it comes to things like light novels and even manga, usually they try to pace it so that it reaches a satisfying ending. Like the ending of an arc or something like that. Or like the ending of a volume. But in this case,
I guess you're right, actually.
It just sort of stops because
I think the cultural festival is a fine place to end it. I just think it's weird to keep going for another 5 minutes after the cultural festival ends. And the reason you can't end it on the cultural festival is because they subverted all of the like positive emotional climax that you could get from Bochi succeeding at the cultural festival, which I think is what the series was leading up to more than a deadpan gag ending. Like, Watamote would end like this. Bochi doesn't feel like it was going for this ending.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that bad. It's basically just like a 9.5 just because of the ending. 9.5 out of 10. I hate giving 0.5s, but I don't want to give it a 9 out of 10 just for that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you really like the show that much, and you would give it a 10 out of 10? Like, putting
if it
aside all
ended on episode 8, actually, yes, I would give it a 10 out of 10.
Well, okay. I'm not the kind of question your tastes too much.
Mm-hmm. No, I think it's very competent. I gave it like an 8. I don't think it does anything particularly spectacular. It's just very good at what it does.
Yeah.
I mean, the compositing is spectacular.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, the direction in general, just. But, yeah, I mean, now that I think about it, the last episode, I'm not sure how you could do it right, because I feel like if you were to go for the more, I guess, proper, satisfying ending that you described, you would somehow need it to last an entire episode and not just half of the episode. So, I don't know, I feel like there would be some kind of pacing issue, at least in that.
I think Lurker's idea was very good.
Yeah.
Having her smash the guitar and then have to go buy a new one. It still ends the concert early. Still gives us a gag ending. But the gag is a lot more believable, I think. Smashing the guitar is symbolically good. Because it's...
the training wheels are off.
Yeah, symbolizing professional evolution is the word I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Where she literally comes into her own and buys her own guitar. Plus, the guitar was broken anyway, as far as she knew. I could see her justifying smashing the thing to bits.
Yeah, and then she looks at her dad's face. Yeah, she looks at her dad's face and realizes what she's done, and it's just...
looks at the entire audience's face and realizes, this was not the correct move.
And then the anime, like, just has her, like, fade into dust and exit backstage as the dust.
Mm-hmm. No, I really love that idea. The fact that he's filming it too, I forgot about that. Just see him with the camera like... For the people on the Discord call, I made a face.
I can believe you.
Mm-hmm.
Stars does bring up something that I feel kind of bad about not mentioning is their band name. Kesoku Band.
Mm-hmm.
I just like Zip Tie in that it's kind of just like a comfort name.
Mm-hmm.
I could see for Bochi of just like, it's something that just keeps her together.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Wait, but aren't the ones that came up with the name Ryo and Nijika?
Mm-hmm.
It is, but it's something Bochi can latch onto.
Yeah.
Mm.
Plus, zip ties don't come undone.
Is that something she says?
No.
Oh.
Any final thoughts from everyone?
Bochi the Glock. My final thought is that I think that this show, like I said before, I think that this show did everything that it was trying to do very well. I don't think it was trying to do anything revolutionary, which is fine. Not every show has to. People who enjoy the show a whole lot, I totally understand. I liked it fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tenek?
I feel like I don't have that much to add. Like, yeah, on the one hand, you're right. It's a pretty good show. It does what it does well. In that sense, I can see why it became so popular, like, I guess 2 years ago, or 1.5 years ago, whenever it was. but that's it. I mean, I liked it. I don't think it's anything super amazing that I can comment a lot on.
Show good, 10 out of 10.
Sure, I get it.
9 out of 10 actually, but show good.
Mm-hmm. Keep wanting to compare it to Revolutionary Girl Utena.
Wait, how many episodes is Revolutionary Girl Utena?
I don't know, but there's a show
I think
coming
it's
out this
3/4.
season that is basically hentai about this girl who admires her local magical girl team and gets conscripted by the evil mascot to be their villainess. And her name is Utena.
What the fuck?
Oh, it's fascinating.
Okay.
Gushing
Thanks
over
for that
magical girls is
information.
what the show is called.
What was the name again?
Gushing over magical girls. It's porn, but Mariah and I are definitely going to watch at least a few more episodes of it because it's one of those things where you stare at the screen slack-jawed, unable to believe what's going on. And it's very fun. And some of the jokes are actually really good.
R plus.
So if you're cool with magical girl porn, Gushing over magical girls is my recommendation in that genre for this season.
Thanks.
You're welcome. I know that's what everyone comes to this channel for.
I know it's a tangent, but I keep losing the name of that one anime that Twitter apparently went crazy for, where it's like, I think it was another harem. The picture was just like 4 girls on the cover.
Do you have any idea how little
I know how vague that is.
Is it the one?
The 100 girlfriends who really.
No. This one was like on the recent couple weeks on Twitter, and it was the most frontal girl basically had like her skirt almost lifted.
Wait, are you thinking maybe girlfriend?
Girlfriend, rental girlfriend.
Nope.
Domestic girlfriend.
Nope.
Like, dude, you gotta be more specific if we're gonna help you find.
I know. Going to go anywhere.
Yeah, I know. Give me a sec. Let me think more about it.
Train ride scene in episode 9. Kita and Bochi are monorails, and I think they should kiss. Moe rails. Okay, so we need to give our votes for end of this month's anime club, since this one's happening. You're gonna have less time than usual to watch my pick, Comic Girls.
Ooh.
Comic
Wait,
Girls.
shouldn't we?
What?
Okay, I mean, okay, if you want to nominate yours early, I don't care, but I want to hear Scrub's choice first, so I can have the advantage.
What's the theme this time?
There's no theme.
The theme is January.
Roughly 12. Okay, Your Lie in April.
Fuck. That's not. You can't just do that.
The theme is 12-ish episode series that are completely self-contained.
Okay, I got it. All right.
Go for it.
You brought it up. I'm going for it. My vote's for Wonder Egg Priority.
Okay.
Yes.
I've nominated it before. I hope it wins this time.
I want you to specifically, when you are adding the descriptions for the community vote, I want you to let people know that this one is on here so that I can rip into it.
Oh, of course we're gonna rip into it. Wonder Egg Priority is some of the most wasted potential I have seen since Sword Art Online. And I know that that's mean to say because the studio was brand new and they overworked themselves and they got too ambitious. But it's true.
I don't have anything.
Is Wonder Egg Priority technically self-contained? Is it contained?
Yeah. I mean, there's a special, I guess, that serves as the ending, but that's it.
It doesn't end, is the thing.
I mean, we can include the final episode. I don't think it would overstep the 1 core limit.
Wonder Egg is 12-ish episodes. It's fine.
Yes. It should be fine.
Mm-hmm. Alright, so Wonder Egg from Scrub. One Direction, am I right? Yeah.
Bad.
I'm doing Comic Girls. Comic Girls is another color-coded cute girls doing cute things and making art show. It's about 4 girls who move into a house together to draw manga. And it's very cute, a little more, it doesn't take itself quite as seriously as Bochi, but there is one episode near the end that is an absolute 9 out of 10 for me, and that very rarely happens.
Oh no, I could have done Nozaki-kun.
All right, Tenek, what
Thank God you
are
didn't.
you giving us?
I feel like maybe a show that would to me feel like a worthy contender for One Direct Priority would be Land of the Lustrous.
Yeah.
I can't give a specific reason because I haven't seen it, but just going off vibes, I would nominate that.
I actually really need to rewatch Land of the Lustrous because I feel like I would like it, but when I first watched it, I really didn't. But I think I was going into it with really bad faith, so.
Yeah, the first time I watched Land of the Lustrous, I hated it, and I realized the second time I tried to watch it that it was because I skipped the first episode somehow. So I was incredibly confused. Okay, are we gonna be generous and let Fire King make a recommendation?
Yeah.
I generally don't have anything, and even if I did land in Lustrous,
You should pick Nozaki-kun.
Wow, are you really going to let Scrub be like Scrub's satellite? That's I don't
no.
know.
I will let Fire King suggest whatever Fire King wants to suggest.
Alright, Nozaki-kun will be my February one then.
The only issue is like most of the stuff I've currently watched is either still going or more than 12 episodes. Makes it hard for me to suggest anything.
I mean, you can just look at your plan to watch list and pick something out there that has fits the criteria. Or you could just be a populist like Scrub was last time and ask.
Wait. No, there was one. What was it? Trying to find it right now. I think it was shortened. It's just one season, and it's just for Google's the suggestion.
Do I have anything soft? Yeah, I do. No, hold on. Stop.
Showing.
I'll let him out in a second.
Is that the chinchilla?
No, that's Johnny. That's the cat.
I forgot. Did we
cute.
suggest Trapped in the Dating Sim?
The what?
The Trapped in a Dating Sim, the world of Otowi games or whatever.
Mobs.
Yeah, I forgot if I suggested that in the past.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, it doesn't sound familiar.
I'll suggest that one because at least it's a trash comedy, but at least it's a good trash comedy.
Wonderful. Trapped in a dating sim, the world of otome games is tough for mobs.
I generally hate how like all these isekai names are just getting longer by the day.
Oh, I love it. I want to see how
I
far it
like
can
how
go.
My Next Life as a Villainess happened, and then the floodgates opened.
No, we were just talking. Mariah and I were just talking the other day about this like more feminine side of isekai that's been coming out lately.
Actually, I don't mind the been killing slimes for 3,000 years and Next Life as a Villainess.
Yeah.
I'm really curious about an isekai I've been watching this season. I did post about it in the anime channel.
Yeah, no, I read that. I read your post. I didn't read the manga.
I don't think it's a manga.
Well, I didn't read the whatever. I did not read the thing you were talking about. Okay. It seems that we've done our anime club. Our first anime club for this month. YouTube people, how did you enjoy it? I hope you had a good time. We still got 29 concurrent viewers. That's quite a bit for this late in the show.
Oh, yeah. I should change back to my normal profile picture. I'm feeling naked without it.
So
Stars had a blast.
When are we going to decide the video?
Well, normally we do it at the end of the month, but we'll say Wednesday of next week.
Yeah,
Wednesday of next week. Sound good?
Wednesday of what now?
Wednesday of next week is when I'll close the poll, and we'll know what the next show is.
Oh, sounds good.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah.
All right, so the shows that we will be able to vote on are Comic Girls, Wonder Egg Priority, Land of the Lustrous, and Trapped in a Dating Sim, the world of otome games is rough for mobs. We're gonna lock those in.
I don't think that last one's winning. I'm just gonna say that.
I don't either. Well, I don't know.
Very brave.
It could be just because of the name, but yeah,
It's also
my
got
choice is
recency bias on its side. Honestly, of these, I think Land of the Lustrous barely wins out over Wonder Egg.
I mean, last time Wonder Egg lost pretty hard, if I remember right. I feel like there's a lot of people who don't like the show.
But it was
yeah,
up against, yeah, that's the point. But it was up against different shows last time. These are all. None of these were particularly popular.
I want Wonder
just
Egg.
Has a cult following.
I want Wonder Egg to win so I can bite into it like a rabid dog and tear it to shreds.
Look, we're gonna keep putting Wonder Egg up until it wins. Don't you worry. It'll get there one day.
Wait, but who nominated it last time? I think.
I did.
Oh, it was you. I think. Yeah.
It was me. All right. We've got our shows nominated. I hope everyone had a good time. If you would like to get in on these anime club discussions for yourself, you can go to patreon.com/explanationpoint to find out how. Link in the description. And if you don't, then you can join our Discord server or a Minecraft server, or you can show me your creative projects and let me critique them, or you can read my notes and scripts, and sometimes I let you have early access to my videos if I get them done before I want to release them. There's all kinds of good stuff there, so you should go check it out. But that is the end of this stream. Thank you all for coming. I will see you next time. Gooby.
Gooby.
Gooby will miss you.